everybody. Welcome back to the Gamerpreneur podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Bradford Carlton. Today's episode, we are talking about the first step to success. So since I'm kind of a little bit of a hiatus on the Gamerpreneur, I'm still doing content, right? I figured kind of do a recap of like what works, like what is the most important thing you need to know when you are out there trying to build your own business, when you're trying to grow your own brand, when you're trying to create something and turn it into something else. And I want to start with like the first things first, after all, right? What is like the thing? If you do not have it, then it's almost impossible to have any form of success, to have a successful business. And I personally believe it's not a plan. It's not an idea. It's not even necessarily a decent work ethic. I've met plenty of people who are very successful, who don't do the work, who don't know what they're talking about, who just kind of figured out this thing here, okay? And so this is actually the same thing, and I'm not going to tell you yet. I'm going to tell a couple stories. This is the exact same thing that I did with the Gamerpreneur when I was first starting, all right? So maybe you can pick out the lesson as I'm telling this, right? So when I first started the Gamerpreneur, I had a plan, like I told you on the last episode, right? I knew kind of exactly where things were going to go. Maybe not necessarily when it was going to work out to my advantage, but I knew the step I had to take and the step I had to take and the step I had to take. And so I knew that if I was going to create a brand, I was not going to play video games because I was just going to do video games. Then I was going to have to slog through trying to find followers. And that is a terrible way to try to grow your following, is by trying to do it yourself. It's actually a horrible, horrible way to try to get followers, is sitting there and making good content, because like that's the bare minimum you could do. If you make good content and you put it out there and you got 16 followers, guess how many people are actually going to see it? Maybe 2, if that, right? So what do you do? Like, what's the trick? Well, with my show, I first decided I was going to do a show. And the reason I wanted to do the show was because I knew that if I could bring guests on, those guests already had followers. And if I could just get some of those guests to be on my show and then talk about the fact that they were on my show, some of their followers would hear about me and some of them would trickle in. And these were people that I had no connection with to otherwise, that I had never met before, never put any content in front of before. And by doing somebody else's service, which was giving them a spotlight, a platform to give a presentation from my show, right? I was able to have people feel comfortable and feel good about me and talk about what I was doing to their people because it made them look good. Right. And so people would watch and they go, oh, I like this concept, or I like what happened. And they hit the like button, they hit the subscribe button. And before you know it, it eventually started to catch up. Now I'll tell you, at the start, it was bad. I had like 600, 700 followers on Twitter after like 2 months, 400 on Instagram after like 3 months. TikTok went nowhere. YouTube went nowhere. Facebook, I got like 1,000 followers my first month. And then like 3 months later, I had 3,000. And it was at that point in roughly June of 2020 that after like I spent 3 months getting like 1,000 followers, I cranked on the ads. So now my content was being showed to people, and I was doing page like campaigns on Facebook, and I was doing engagement. So people were engaging on my videos. And next thing I know, because there was a lot of engagement, now I would do a video view campaign. People would see this video with lots of engagement, and like the views were going up because the dollars were putting behind it. And next thing they know, they also see an ad from me saying, hey, do you want to follow the Gamerpreneur? And they're like, yeah, sure. And they click the like button, and like that's how people grow followings quickly, is using paid ads. I'm not talking about buying bots. Okay. I've seen that happen. Not a good idea. I'm not talking about like bot systems or anything like that. I'm using paid advertising to present my content to people. Okay. Now you might have just heard what I just said, that whole little like spiel of, the podcast and paid ads, and missed the actual lesson I was trying to get to because I kind of focused on other things. The lesson I was trying to get to was the fact that when I was first starting out, because we're talking about the first thing you need to do for success, right? I went and I found other people to help me accomplish my goal. All right. That was it. I knew that if I just went out there and I tried to do it myself and I was just shouting into the void, maybe maybe something would have happened, but most likely not. I knew that I needed to go and I needed to talk to other people and get them to help me by being of service to them in some way. All right. So let's rewind the tape and go back to the beginning of this episode where I'm like, I'm going to teach you the first lesson that you need to know for success, right? The first thing you need for success, not necessarily a good plan. You don't need great content. You don't need good equipment. You don't need $1 million idea. You don't necessarily need any of that. What you need are people who have a desire to help you. That's more important than anything else. That's the most important thing you could possibly do in any business venture you ever intend to set up in any way, shape, or form. It is, how can I get somebody else who's willing to come and help me with this? Okay. Now, like me, I'm not the best salesperson on the planet. I'm never going to say I'm the best salesperson on the planet. Can I convince people to do things? Yes. Can I convince people to do big things? Yes. Have I taken lots of money from people in the past in sales? Absolutely. Am I the best? No. No, there's definitely people, like I've seen people who could charm the snake off a skin, or skin off a snake. That's better. That's better, right? They just could. They have that charisma. You know the kind of person I'm talking about. That's not me. So that's why I hire salespeople. I have salespeople working for me right now, right? To go off and make sales on my behalf. I also have graphic designers, because even though I make my own graphics for the show, I'm not the best graphic designer. So for other businesses, I hire people who are skilled at that thing and they go do it. All right. You have to understand. And this is a topic I cover often on this show because it really is that important. But if you were starting with nothing, if you were like nothing, if you had $100 in your pocket and you were kicked out on the street, what are you going to do? Go make friends. Like that's the thing you want to do first, is you need to go make friends really quick. Because as a mentor of mine taught me back when I was running for political office, you have to learn how to friend raise before you can fundraise. And that's applicable to all types of businesses, all ventures, whether you're a streamer or an esports team, or whether you like make video games or you're a mechanic. Like, it doesn't really matter, right? You have to understand that you have to go out and you have to engage with other people in a way that gets them to like you and want to help you. Okay. I'm not talking about forcing people to do anything. I'm not talking about badgering people until they finally give in. I'm talking about having a level of charisma and tact and guile, we'll say. Guile's not a bad word, by the way. To be able to get people to see your mission and go, you know what, that sounds something like I would like to help with. And that is the secret. That's the key to enormous success. I was trying to think of a massive word, like massive success, because you never know who the person is that's helping you, and who they know, and who they know, and who they know, and who they know. Like as an example, so there's a study, God, it's a long time ago. There was a study that said every person has roughly 300 people that they know. Okay, roughly 300 people. At least you might remember their names, or you might have the connection, or if you looked in your phone and you pulled it together and you looked at online, you could gather 300 people. Okay. If you are able to get 300 people to help you, and you're able to get those 300 people to help the 300 people that they know as well, before you know it, you have tens of thousands of people, if not more than that, on your behalf, working in your direction, even though, one more second, even though they may not be working 40 hours a week, right? It doesn't take 40 hours a week in order to make a lot of money. All it takes sometimes is a phone call, the right phone call to the right person with the right reason can get you the business and money that you want for your business or for your venture. All right. So many people, like in the gaming space, you guys are nuts. Sponsorship. Like for one, it's not really a sponsorship. It's a marketing agreement. You should be paid for it. But most people aren't, right? They're just so happy that G Fuel is sponsoring them, right? Or in the others, the chair companies, right? Oh, sell 3 of our chairs and we'll give you 1 for free. That's not a sponsorship. That's whack. In fact, why aren't you going and talking to real businesses? I'm talking about like real businesses. Why aren't you talking to the insurance company down the street? Or why aren't you talking to KFC or Adidas or what's the insurance, Progressive, right? Just go talk to real businesses and say, here, this is the brand I'm making. This is what I'm about. This is the audience that I reach to. This is the amount of engagement that we currently get. Based on all this, I'm asking for this in order to be able to do this with you. All right. You make it about them and what they get from what you're asking for, and they might give it to you. All right. But it's no different. It's really no different than asking your friends, right? You have to present it to them in a way that what's in it for them, right? With them, what's in it for me? Everybody's favorite radio station, WIIFM. What's in it for? Yeah, with them. Yeah. If you do not know how to speak to people in a way that conveys how they benefit from working with you, you're not going to get anybody to help you. So whether it's a friend, a potential business partner, a sponsor, advertiser, or, just someone that you're looking to maybe lend you some money, right? The bank, make it about them and how it works for them. Okay. This is, if I had to start all over again, and I did with the Gamerpreneur, and even before the Gamerpreneur, like I have had to restart my life over and over again because I've risen to the heights of achievement in various fields, court administrator for a county court on the judge track. And I was a partner at a 28-year-old law firm at the age of 27, where I also wrote the literal book on the field of elder law for the state of Ohio at age 27. Okay, after that, had a law practice. It was one of the fastest growing in the state. We had attorneys working for us, staff members. We had this huge office. We were going around the state teaching attorneys and real estate agents how to do digital marketing. And that was before I moved to Las Vegas. Like, I've done stuff. And every time I've done stuff, I eventually realized I'm not happy where I was at. And I started all over again. I mean, like from scratch, kind of started over again. I've had $25 in my bank account at one point. There was another point I made it down to $112. And it's like bills still due. Bills have always been due, right? But I make it. And then I've moved on. And so when I've moved on, I've always understood the key to success is who can you talk to help you get success, okay? If you are sitting there going, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, Brad, that's not an issue, because the truth is nobody knows what they're doing until they've done it. So until you go and you figure out how to do what you want to do, you're not going to know how to do it. So you need to go figure it out either through the pain of experience, meaning you try and you fail and you try and you fail until you've failed enough times so you figure it out. Or you go talk to someone who's already been through all that and they have the experience under the belt and they're willing to help you out because, I don't know, I know exactly how to get you through this. Don't you worry, I've got your back here, right? So when you're starting out, or if you're trying to figure out how to change things, you're trying to figure out how to grow and build, go find other people. That's it. That's the secret. That's the key. That's what you need to do. And if you're like, I'm a loner, I don't like working with other people, I don't know how to save you then. There's some universal truths that we all have to abide by. And the one I'm teaching you right now is the fact that if you want success, you need other people in your life. Nobody can do this alone. Nobody can do this alone. You need the right people helping you with the right tasks in order to achieve the right results. Because it doesn't help if you got the right people with the right tasks and you're getting the wrong results, right? You need to be focused and know where you're going. You need to have the people who are already capable of getting you there. So if you're sitting there like, okay, Brad, what am I supposed to do? Freaking go on Discord, go on a social media and just start chatting with people. And every day, chat with them every single day. If you're following somebody on Twitter that you want to be chatting with, just anytime they post, just chat, just message every time, or not message, just comment on every single thing they post for days and days and days and days and days and days. What's going to happen eventually, they're going to go, oh, hey, Brad, how's it going? Good to see you here. Because they're used to seeing you over and over again. And at that point, you can start engaging them a little different. Maybe send them some messages. Again, talking about them, because everybody cares about themselves, right? You want to be a giver. You go and you talk about them and you learn about them. You find out what they're struggling with. And if you can find a way to help somebody without any expectation of reward, what will happen is that person is going to feel obliged to help you in some way. All right. And what's going to happen is they're like, hey, what are you working on? Maybe I can find a way to help you. And it'll happen. Okay. So yes, there is a way to do this. I've done it. I've done it here on the Gamerpreneur brand. And I mean, shucks, like that's how I ended up kind of at my with my new client is I reached out and said, "Hey, are you willing to help?" And I'm like, "Sure thing." No expectation of reward at the time. And as we developed, it became clear I needed to be rewarded for the service I was providing. And so here we are. So that's what I got for you today. Going to remind you all, organization is the enemy of sloth. Okay. If you're sitting there and you're like, this sounds fantastic, I wish I could do it, I just don't have a clue what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know this, blah, 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 whatever your excuse is. Okay. Pull out a piece of paper. And just start writing down some places that you can go or some places that you think you might be able to find people who are the kind of people that you think you need in order to accomplish your goal. And you just start going and looking for them. Is this going to happen in the next 24 hours? Most likely not, right? But you didn't get to where you are in life in 24 hours. It's taken you how many years to get here? So it's okay to take a couple weeks, maybe a month or two to figure things out and understand that there's a path that you need to be following and there's people you need to be talking to in a certain way to be able to move your life forward for the next several decades, next 100 years of your life for all I know, right? Figure this stuff out in advance. Take the time to sit down and slow yourself down. If your family's bothering you, tell the kids go away. Tell the spouse or the significant other, just I need 10, 20, 15 minutes. And you make them give it to you, all right? Your life, your future, your dreams is more important than 5, 10 minutes of them being needy. Take it. It's worth it. And be organized. Figure out what you can do to move forward. So that's what I got for you all today. Don't be just a gamer. Be a gamerpreneur.